The Higher Education Minister, Nobuhle Nkabane, had until the end of business today to submit the names of the much talked about SETA board chairpersons selection and evaluation panel. The minister has been under intense scrutiny for this panel, with some members of the Higher Education Committee in Parliament demanding the names. Not only that, the President expressing concern about the minister's conduct when she appeared before the committee recently. And in a statement last week, the minister acknowledging that, and I quote, the situation could have been handled differently, and further saying that she wants to strengthen her relationship between her department and the Portfolio Committee. So, did the minister meet the deadline? Let's speak to Higher Education Portfolio Committee member AshlySauls. Good evening to you, Mr. Sauls, and thank you so much for your time. Did you get the names by end of business today?
Good evening, Bongiwe, and good evening to your viewers. No, we did not receive the names, but the committee did receive a letter from the minister responding, but without the names. The letter instead requests for further extension because the minister, although she agrees she must comply, the minister now wants to write to this private or secret panelist to express her intention to comply. So the answer is no. We did receive correspondence, but not the names.
I'm baffled, I'm sure you are as well, as to, because when I was listening to even the sitting recently, for example, when yourself, various other committee members were asking about these names, is there any reason why these people need to remain a secret? That should say.
There's absolutely no reason why they need to remain a secret. And based on the tone of the letter that has been shared with us by our chairperson, she understands, the minister understands that they cannot be kept secret. So there's no reason for it to be kept secret, and the names will be revealed. It's just a question of when. And so we're sitting here now with a request for the 30th of June, and a request for extension to the 30th of June. But because we have had sight of the letter today as the entire committee online, we are sitting again on Wednesday, and we will then deliberate on what the way forward is. But we, as unanimously as a committee, we are saying that the names must be released. But I can't speak on what the decision will be for the House. But based on what has happened before, it's clear that all of us wants the names and to be revealed. And the decision on Wednesday the question might again be whether we would allow the extension or subpoena the minister to release the names before the 30th of June. I suppose that would be the question. I can only speculate. But I cannot decide for the chairperson, firstly, in terms of what question he will put, and secondly, I cannot decide for the House. But as per what we stand on, those names must be revealed because the public must know, especially since that group of people influenced the decision for that appointment.
So, and it's also confusing because she knows that this is a big issue, and it was even when she appeared before the committee. One would have expected that as soon as she left the committee on the day, she would have then started writing to these individuals and say, I'm going to reveal your names, is it fine, and all of that, so that she gives you a conclusive answer by the end of today. One would have expected that would have been a natural process to follow.
Absolutely, and clearly our expectations are different, but the minister did write in length in the letter explaining that the first concern that she had initially was the disclosure, whether such disclosure will be against the Act. She has then concluded it will not be against the Act, and of course now she wants to write to them again to then express her intention to comply because of concerns that once the names are revealed, as you know, there's going to be a public outcry, and she's a bit concerned about how the public will respond to these particular individuals, and it will affect their privacy. And so therefore, she would like to have such a discussion. And we agree that that expectation is not valid. the names must be revealed, and it should have been done today. But as I say, officially, as I'm standing here in my own personal capacity as a full member, I feel that that reason is not warranted, but I cannot speak for the rest of the committee members, neither can I speak for the chair. So we will wait for Wednesday for the official committee meeting, and then the House will decide what the way forward would be. Subpoena or the extension granted for the 30th of June.
As a committee member, and one would then ask you, what do you think is really at play here?
I can't say what is really at play.
What are your suspicions?
Well, that there's reservation to reveal the names for whatever reason. That's my speculation. I don't know the reason for why the names should be held secret. My job as a legislator is to ensure accountability without fear and without favor. And so in that sense, we are saying the minister must account as in her public office. Those names must be revealed. What the reasons is for keeping it private, that's not my concern. My concern is that the public, South African citizenry, needs to know who is it that had a material influence on her decision on who to appoint as chairpersons to the SETA board.
And I suppose it also kind of settles the debate from some who would have said that maybe this panel doesn't exist, because there were others who were thinking that, that maybe if the names are not forthcoming, possibly the panel may not exist. But if she now is saying that she's going to write to these individuals, I suppose it settles that debate, doesn't it?
Well, from the first initial meeting on the 30th of May, it was clear that this panel does exist. So that speculation doesn't hold water. We know that the panel exists. The question is not whether the panel exists or not. The question is, who are they?
How disappointed are you as a member of the committee that things have gotten to this point and now there's another request for an extension?
Obviously very disappointed, because it is just delaying accountability processes, but you can only delay so long. But I must express that our intention as a committee is not to embarrass anybody, neither do we consider our primary function to be exposing wrong. Our primary function is to expose wrong where it happens, but more so to fix it. This is an attempt to fix what is wrong, and we need to do that together for all South Africans. That's our primary function.
Yeah, Mr. Sauls, thank you so much for your time this evening. Appreciate it. And as you say, there will be that meeting then that will chart a way forward. We'll get a sense from there as to what does the committee then decide, and see then what happens. But also it'll be interesting to also hear from the minister. We'll also continue to put in requests to her office. Appreciate your time this evening. That was the Higher Education Portfolio Committee member, AshlySauls.